They set it up themselves.
Hmm.
Alrighty,
Because that'd be
but we
weird if people were. Actually, I don't think anyone has a notification for the waiting queue. I know a bunch of people do for Drive Not Found, but oh fuck.
I think
Speaking of which, I should.
Adam Clements has it, and we're
Uh,
live right
uh,
now. By the way, just letting you know.
uh, I'm
What?
talking to me. Okay, there I stopped that.
Yeah, I think Adam Clements has something for the waiting queue.
Fair enough. I forgot I need a trailer so that people actually know that we exist. I almost forgot.
Yep,
Okay.
I gotta change everything too.
Mhm. Oh man, I am so far ahead of on Plants vs Zombies, and I have nothing for any of my other LPs. I've run out of all material.
We talk about Twitch communities. Have you heard about that?
No,
It's like
it'll be news to me.
imagine a Steam group, but you can't join it,
Hmm.
and that's it.
Wait,
You
what?
can't join. It's like here. I'll just send it to you.
Okay. Imagine it's a group that you can't be a part of for you and your friends.
It's kind of like, you know how if you search on Twitch for a specific game and it shows all the people who are streaming there?
Mm.
You can set something up for that.
Hmm.
I don't explain things very well.
Which is why we need to do that bomb defusal game.
Douglas would hate me though.
No, again, just I think my premise is valid, where you have trouble describing things and I can't read properly. Like you can't beat that. That's better than just people that are like competent at both. We're gonna fail the first bomb. Actually, I don't even know how much this game costs. This probably will never happen, but
I should probably put something up on the screen that mentions that this is a pre-show.
oh yeah, no.
Um,
No. Pause. Oh, Soto the suck, man.
yeah.
Oh, and we gotta talk about Steam Direct or whatever a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I'll put the. Now, are there actually 5 people watching on this channel, or is this because it's hosted and they've been like weirdly sucked from Drive Not Found?
Hey, I'm okay with getting sucked from, or getting sucks from. All right, I'm just gonna stop talking.
I'm just wondering. Now it's gone down to 3 because we mentioned sucking, even before
Even before
even
they heard
before
it.
it logically would have. Like we don't want to get sucked.
Strangers on the internet. Speak for
Mm.
yourself. Jeez.
What?
Jeez, speak for yourself.
No. What?
Welcome to the pre-show. We got fun and games. Starting in 5
Wait.
minutes.
Did someone say something in the chat?
Nope.
Oh. Who are you talking to?
I'm just talking to nobody.
Oh, fair enough.
I think the 3 people watching are probably you and me.
No, that's fair.
Drone not found.
There were so try not fans watching. Okay, that makes sense. But there were 5 for a brief second. Maybe it was Nightbot and probably Boss. Boss just appeared.
She's like, fuck this podcast. These guys suck.
Man, remember when Neuro Guy watched us on my channel and he would be like, "Hey, here's links that you talked about," and then he left us forever.
Oh,
Remember
we
that?
left him. We left.
Well,
You can't get angry. Or
I mean, my
sad.
channel was still there.
That's
It
true.
was still there. He could have posted his things about. Actually, I know about this catheter, how it works, because I use them.
Now let me show you on a video. Oh, hey,
He
Rag.
actually probably could have a channel. He had all these like war stories from his father that was in World War II. He
That
could have
is
just did it.
interesting.
Yeah. He was telling us about some like somehow they like smuggled a keg onto because I think he was in the Navy. They like smuggled a keg of beer to like so that they could brew beer on the ship or something, and it like exploded. Or yeah.
That doesn't
Hey,
sound too bad.
Rag, Pa.
What's up? Welcome to the pre-show.
Yeah. It's going to be just as interesting as the regular show, but with more forced enthusiasm. And
I'd say less.
oh, wait, I don't have any forced enthusiasm here. I don't have to try, right?
No.
Yeah,
It's
no.
laid back.
Mm,
The pre-show. Filled with anticipation for the next hour.
I'm filled with mucus. That's what I'm
And
filled with.
hacking and smacking.
There we go. There
How are you
we
doing,
go.
Rag?
It's Ragnaros. All right, I'm releasing my trailer.
Mine's already out there.
Fair enough. Now mine is out there. Come, tens of viewers, maybe. Usually it's like
Hosted.
3 people. 3 people come.
We have 154 followers on the waiting queue. I think we lost a follower.
Hmm.
Because I remember changing the bio to 155. Where can you even see like the bio for Twitch anymore since they took away the channel?
I don't know.
Alrighty, Rag.
You know, should we change Gear's channel to his new channel and change the name maybe? I don't know. I don't know if he's ever going to be on again.
I mean, I'm not going to go through the trouble of changing the thumbnail and all that. Plus,
I mean, fair
does
enough.
he want those two identities connected?
I'm guessing not. See, I'm guessing not. Here's the part where I don't want to say things on air just based on theories, but probably not.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just leave it.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
You know, shoot.
But that channel has 51 subscribers, and his new one has 300, and he actually uses it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him. I talk to him occasionally.
I feel like one of these years you're gonna come back to his channel in like a year, and he's gonna have fucking 10,000 subs or something.
It's possible. He's doing some cool stuff. Like he had one guy come in as like his editor and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's working on actually like doing like professional looking cartooning and script writing and stuff like that. So
What was the second topic we had again?
Steam Direct. Even though we might only talk about it for like 5 minutes, but you know. That's probably one of the I have not been following gaming news. I don't think anything. Actually, the Nintendo Switch is the other major thing that happened. But didn't we already? Wasn't like Kenobi on last time, and we talked about it with him, or did it come out after? I don't remember. It's been too long. It's been way too long since the last one. I can't even remember. Yeah, and it's 1 minute to 5, so you know what that means.
What does it mean? You have to explain it to me.
It means the show that's going to be extremely different than this is actually going to start. Oh, wait, it's 5.
Damn it! I was hoping somebody would like message me or something. That's all right. Buckets unfortunately didn't show up. I'm gonna go offline on Steam. So
Oh,
I
I should do that.
messaged, and I guess we
Oh, wait.
can start the podcast.
Yeah.
Bwop. There we go. Oh, look at that smooth transition. That was so amazing. That
Where you
was
said
so amazing.
"wop."
But hello and welcome to the
Wop.
WinQ podcast for 2/2017. I can just look up on the screen right there and see the date. I don't have to look at the bottom right anymore. It's so good. But yeah, I'm here with Cross and Soto the Sock Man. And our fan art for today is made by Buckus and his Flesh Pound Hugs. It's a pretty good piece of fan art. He posted that on the Driving Out Town Brew. Is it fan art, would you say?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering, because, like, you know, we posted those cards that I sent to you and Buckus, but, like, is it fan art if I did it? I don't know.
I wonder if that.
Also,
Brew
anytime you
shooting-
make a transition in one of your YouTube videos, I want you to go, "Wop." No?
Maybe I'll have to extract it from the podcast.
Yeah, well, you could probably reproduce that
Nope,
pretty easily.
that's a one-of-a-time sound.
Yeah. Is it?
It's exclusive. I was gonna say that. I don't know if I can anymore though.
Say it. Okay.
Did I nail it? Did I do it?
You're correct. You can no longer say apples. I'm sorry.
Shit.
In fact, if you ask for those in a restaurant, I don't think you're going to get that fruit anymore.
chat is so tiny. I can't even read it. What the hell? What
I
happened
don't
there?
know. Is it seriously saying that 20 people are watching right now?
Cross, you weren't supposed to tell me things like that. If that is
That's
the truth.
not. Well, I'm just saying it because I don't believe it.
You see, I don't
And
like numbers and stuff like that because it puts pressure on a person.
it's fine. There's only like 2 people watching you. There's a 0 behind that too. So anyway, how are you doing? Have you had any like major mouth surgery or anything? Or?
I mean, I had bones pulled out of my face forcefully. I had to undergo IV sedation, so that was pretty interesting. You
Are
know.
teeth bones?
Teeth are bones, I'm pretty sure, yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
To the internet.
I'm
Are teeth
not
bones?
doing live research on whether teeth are bones and spelling teeth completely wrong.
Yeah, it's they're pretty much bones. Except you can get cavities in them, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, so bones are way better than teeth. We should just have bone teeth, because apparently they're like bones but stupider.
Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, I had to undergo IV sedation, and that was always fun. The first time I've had it, and the first time I've had a major surgery too. It was an experience. I remember while I was getting put under, there was like a bird or something that was smacking into the window. And one of the nurses was like, "Oh man, the poor thing's gonna break its neck." And I was so distraught when I woke up. I was like, "Oh no, is the bird okay?"
And then the nurse slowly turned to you, and they're like, "I'm talking about you, you know." And then you went on.
Shit.
And that was the last thing.
The last thing I remember is getting the IV put in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never been put under before. I don't think I want that.
Well, it was between either getting put under and not feeling a fucking thing, or sitting there with my teeth numb, feeling the immense pressure of them pulling at my goddamn gums.
Yeah, no, I would have picked what you picked. It's just
Yeah, it's why wouldn't you? It was all
So they
4
took
wisdom
out-
teeth.
They took out all of your wisdom teeth.
Yeah, all 4 of them. I'm still
Do
healing
you
up a
feel
bit.
like you have less wisdom?
Yes, I always feel like that. Every day I spend diddling around on YouTube.
I'm just getting dumb.
I think I'm like 100% sure I am, yeah.
Well, you know, just watch educational videos.
I think I was very concerned when I was all in the drug haze waiting to get taken home. I was so worried that I was going to be rude to somebody.
Were you?
No, I wasn't
Oh.
rude, but I was so worried that I was saying thank you and please and stuff like that a lot. And then they said I acted kind, so
Oh, good.
that's always nice. Unless if they just omitted something.
Probably not. If that was in your head, you probably weren't rude.
Yeah.
So now we know if you ever get addicted to drugs, you're going to be like the most kind, gentle drug addict of all time.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I could use that as my YouTube banner.
The gentle crackhead.
Crack. No, man,
I don't
bath
know.
salts.
That's the more... Crack is more exciting than the other ones, right?
Crack cocaine. What did you ever have any major surgery over the past 4 months that we've had the podcast? Oh yeah, we should
No,
probably
I've
mention
only
that.
even been to the emergency room once, and it's because I sliced off part of my finger with an X-Acto knife.
Oh.
And I didn't even need to go to the emergency room. It's just I was at the college, and they could not stop it from bleeding. So after like 20 minutes of it not bleeding, I was like, I should probably go to the hospital.
Not bleeding or bleeding?
It was bleeding. It was bleeding for like 20 minutes. They put this gigantic like bandage around it, and it just bled through it. But they couldn't do anything because like I just sliced part of my finger off. There was nothing to like reattach or anything. And then like sitting next to me was this girl who like stuck her hand in a blender, and she's like bleeding everywhere. And then this other person fell down a hill and broke their arm, and I just have like my index finger is bleeding a little bit. I'm just like, ugh.
Did your arm
Why
get
did
all
I come
nasty
to
or
the
something?
emergency room?
Did your arm get fucked up in some way?
Well, my arm.
Yeah, your hand or something, and you didn't go to
Oh,
the
my-
ER and...
It was just my finger. I have a permanently damaged wrist, but I never went to
Yeah.
the hospital for that. Yeah,
That.
that's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that was 12 years ago. I don't think it's getting better. I don't know what they could possibly do for me at this point. I should have gone to the hospital within the first week.
I think
But
there's a skit I heard. It was about some dude who was like 40 or something and said, "Man, I went to the doctor because my knee was going out," and he said, "Yeah, it happens. Your body's shitting out." He was like, "There's nothing you
are
can do."
are you talking about the Louis C.K. skit with his
Yeah,
ankle?
yeah,
Yes.
that was hilarious.
He's like, yeah, no, that'll happen. Your ankle's just, crappy now.
Yeah,
It's not, it's really not worth it.
it's bad.
Yeah.
Just
Hmm.
stay off it.
Yeah.
That's probably what they would tell you. So
They
it's
might, yeah. I mean, I'm over 30. They probably don't care about if I have a working body now, right?
soft, shitty body. That's what I like to say.
Because of Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, is that where I got it from? I don't remember.
Yep, Rush Limbaugh's soft, shitty body.
It's a good
That's one
turn
of
of
the
phrase.
Mm.
So yeah, it's been.
Also, I don't.
Oh, sorry.
This,
Go ahead.
this many people are not watching the podcast. I refuse to believe that.
Don't
That
tell
doesn't
me.
make
Shut up.
No, but no one has said anything in chat, and it has been the exact same number for far too long. That is a false number, and I don't know what's causing.
Maybe it's people from YouTube who don't have Twitch accounts.
That's possible, but weird.
So go make Twitch accounts if you're watching this. We're scared. We're scared.
Yeah,
that we
then
were
you could
watched by
yell at us,
robots.
so I know that you're not 20 ninjas.
And we'll just ignore you because we're assholes.
No, I mean, yeah, maybe, but just know that in our hearts we saw you.
Now, that's an interesting thing with podcasts. You don't want to like stop the podcast to talk to chat or something.
All right, well, 203, you're in the next room.
Speaking of which, hi 203. We can stop the podcast to talk to 203. What's up?
But yeah, I'm doing okay since the last time that we recorded in October.
Yeah, I wanted to say it's been 4 months since the last podcast. So any crazy motherfucker who's watching through the podcasts and got up to this gap, yeah, it's been 4 months since the last podcast, and I wanted to ask you if anything major has happened to you in the past 4 months.
Nothing major.
Interesting, at least?
I mean, all the interesting things that happened, I feel like we shouldn't talk about just because they happened to the country and not us. But I don't know. I've been obsessing about certain things. I don't know. It's just been really cold, and I have not been. I haven't been able to do too much because it's been so cold. And I don't know. I've been thinking about. I don't know. I've just been thinking about how to manage the channel and everything, and my job, and like trying to figure out if I should, because I should have some type of backup just in case I lose my main job, because I'm making almost no money from YouTube. And I've been thinking about possibly starting a Patreon. I'm probably gonna have a video up about just asking what people think about that, either tomorrow or the day after that.
That's very reminiscent of your. I remember when you had like 3,000 subs, you posted an update video and you asked about monetization on your channel, and you were hesitant back then about that even.
Yes.
So I assume the reception is going to be pretty much the same.
Probably. I just want to ask, like, are there any concerns that I'm not thinking of? And the other thing is, like, if I put up a Patreon for 1 month and then suddenly decided to not have a channel anymore and you donated, how pissed would you be? Because that could happen. That's my biggest concern, is feeling obligated to keep on going when I don't want to because I started a Patreon. I don't think I'm that at risk of that, though, because I feel obligated anyway, even without that. And I think I would, even if I was being paid no money, because I know that people look like my content. But I think there would be like an extra layer of obligation if people were directly paying me, you know?
One person that I watch, that you probably watch too, Noah Cadwell Gervais. He makes
Never heard of
really
him.
good in-depth reviews of different game series. He always offers refunds and stuff like that, so there's got to be some way to give refunds.
That would be good. Yeah.
I wonder if
That
it
would
goes through a PayPal thing as well, like a PayPal account.
Maybe, yeah, I haven't researched Patreon enough to know all the specifics too. Like, ideally, I'd want it to just be put into like my checking account, which I use for games. Like, there's a specific account that I pretty much just use to order things online. If it went there, that would be perfect. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how any of it works. We'll figure it out.
Anything else? Interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is a Patreon. Let's keep on doing the channel. Like I feel like one of the like I wanted to do the podcast one just to do the podcast because it had been so long.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've been making jokes to 203 that the podcast is canceled, and I mean it's hard to say they're jokes if the podcast doesn't happen for 4 months. But
I mean, at this point, pretty much, yeah.
yeah, I mean if it's not a regular thing anymore, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, those,
I
like,
mean,
three
there were
podcasts.
huge gaps in between the last few times that we've done it anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't know if any of them. I don't know if this was the biggest gap, but it might be.
Is it?
If it's not, it's the second biggest gap.
I have a hard time thinking about another larger gap than this. Because
There
I know
was
we got up to like we got up to a pretty high fucking number where it was consistently every single week we had a podcast.
Yes, but it was number 100 because you freaked yourself out about needing to make the 100th podcast amazing, that we didn't do it for at least 2 months, if not 3 months.
April, June. April, May, June. That was a 2 month in between the 99 and 100.
This was the biggest. Hey, someone's saying hi to you, Companion Cube. Dun,
Hey,
dun, dun.
what? Oh yeah, that's probably something else. My name is no longer OO Companion Cube. In the last 4 months, since last podcast, I changed my online handle on the new year to Unkempt Cube. A, because I like the way it looks on screen infinitely more, and B, because it's shorter.
Yeah, and it's more unique also.
Yeah, other than taking Companion Cube and putting 2 O's on it.
Yeah, which to be fair, no one else did, especially because one of them was a 0. Which one? Who knows? Could be either one.
I had another YouTube channel that had OO Companion Cube instead of 0O, but right before I posted up my first Let's Play video, I forgot the fucking password to OO Companion Cube, so I made 0O Companion Cube. It was never my intention to be 0O Companion Cube, ever.
To be impossible to search for, even when people knew your name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if you looked up OO Companion Cube, it would pop up on Google and YouTube.
Yeah. But I like Unkept Cube better. Also, it's related to your previous brand, which is always a good thing, as opposed to just like completely rebranding.
I like
like I know Jesse Cox did that, but he had like a terrible name.
OMFG Cata.
Yeah, he wasn't playing Cataclysm videos for like 3 years, so I understand why he changed that.
Yeah. It's got to be hard to tie yourself to a game like that too. That was also one.
Also, terrible name anyway.
Yeah.
Terrible name anyway. Well, yeah.
Calling yourself something like Minecraft Joe. That was basically what I did. I took my favorite game when I was 15, and I took a character from that, and then I used that as my online handle.
Yeah. But I guess, I mean, I was like always using Cross on the internet, but Cross Knights is nicely generic. Could apply to it. Sounds kind of video gamey or like fantasy-y. It's pretty good. It works.
I mean, I think of Unkempt Cube, and I think I could have. If I spent like longer, I might have been able to find something I liked better. But I like the K's. I really like the way the K looks out of the and U. I feel like a U isn't exactly used a whole lot in usernames.
What about Yushi?
Yeah, of course, Yushi. That's the way you spell it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it works out. But yeah, so if we're actually going to talk about Halo Wars 2, I'm not going to... I have no idea. I've played a Halo game once for a few minutes.
Tell us
back in like the 90s. I didn't like it. Didn't like it.
Get off my podcast.
The people that were playing with me were jerks and did not understand that there was a slight learning curve, and they just murdered me, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I remember getting upset when I was younger. I was at a friend's house, and he was creaming us, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't... Wah. And then I was a little baby.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Halo Wars 2, it was released. I just wanted to have something up there other than topic number 1. I wanted to fill it. Halo Wars 1 is a cult classic RTS that isn't very amazing, but the cutscenes, oh my god, the cutscenes were amazing during that time. Holy shit, I hope they kept it up too. Also, who's on Drive Not Found right now?
Whoops! Well,
Oh, it's you.
It's Douglas.
It was Taz last time. I thought it might have been Taz this time.
Fair enough.
And the time before that,
No.
it was Buckus.
No hope to pull someone else in. It's just me. It was me all along.
Are you trying to start a ruse here? Make it so that I think that Taz is ignoring us?
I could have if I wasn't generally surprised that the words "Drive Not Found" popped up instead of "Cross Nights LP." Sugar. Bow, bow.
One quick thing, did you notice that on the fan art from Private Buckus, I don't know if I mentioned that, it was made by him, you can see 2 feet at the bottom of the door?
Wait, really?
Yeah, 2 feet illuminated. I thought that was my favorite part of the fan art.
Fair enough.
Fan art, god damn it. We haven't been getting any new fan art recently, but it is still, every time I think of it, it just blows my mind that somebody made shit for us.
Well, wasn't it because like most of it was made by one guy that doesn't watch you guys anymore? Or?
Pretty sure most of it was made by one guy.
Yeah.
But even then, somebody taking their time to make something like that.
Mm.
Even the dank meme one with the smoke and kill people in other countries.
I got one piece of fan art, and it's a misquote. I mean, I guess it's not technically a misquote.
It's a quote mine?
It's out of context. It's missing the most important part of the context, damn it.
I'm trying to think of other things that happened in the last 4 months that we could talk about on the podcast that were important.
Gaming-wise, I mean, I swear I remember talking about the Nintendo Switch on this podcast.
We did.
We
talked about that last time with Kenobi.
Was Kenobi the last person on the podcast?
Kenobi was the last person on the podcast.
That was so long ago.
It really fucking was. I remember after the podcast, we played Heroes of the Storm with him, and we're like, we're going to play games together more. Nope, haven't played a single game with him since that.
No, that was the last time I talked to him.
I'm sorry, Kenobi.
It's okay, he doesn't listen to this.
Fair enough.
But yeah. No, that's great. So there's nothing to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what I think about the Nintendo Switch, except for the fact that Nintendo, I just increasingly don't like them as a company. But I'm sure their games are still good. I'm just probably never going to play them again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I wonder how this new Nintendo console is actually going to fare, because they sort of just let the Wii U die. They just brought it out to pasture and shot it.
Yeah, I don't know if they had much choice though. It was just gone. Like there are still people that think it was a handheld peripheral to add to the Wii. There are still people that think that.
That is entirely their fault.
Nintendo's, you mean? Or?
Yeah, Nintendo's. Entirely Nintendo's fault for marketing it so stupid. Wii U? What the fuck kind of a name is that?
Yeah, and then they show it, and it's all about the peripheral. So it did seem like it was just it was like the Sega CD, where you just add a CD drive to Sega. Like,
yeah.
So terrible. Also, the Wii's a terrible name in general. Also.
Well, to be fair, it's a remember name. No, that's not right. Memorable name. That's what it is.
I guess, but the Dreamcast was going to be called the Katana. That would have been way cooler.
I like the Dreamcast better. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, Katana.
Yeah, but Katana is already an established brand.
Are they? The Katana brand. You just go to the store, buy my Katana.
I'm just trying to think about something like search results. If you search up on Google Katana, you're probably going to get the sword like 50% of the time.
That's true.
It's like people on Steam who are making games, and they call their game like Fight. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you trying to kill your game by having no search results?
It's okay during the early 80s in the Atari when they had a boxing game that was called Boxing, and there was a football game called Football, because there wasn't any other video game that was about football at that time, so it was okay to call it football.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, speaking of Steam, Steam Greenlight is dying. Has probably been talking about so much. If you're listening to this podcast and you care about gaming news at all, you probably heard 50 million other people talking about it, so we won't dwell on it too much. But
I've only heard 2, to be fair. And we'll ignore the fact that I only listen to like 3 different news sources.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many gaming news do you listen to?
This Total Biscuit, Jim Position, and Dodger, if I remember that she exists, which I don't always because she orders her videos a little bit weird, and it's hard to find information about where I am sometimes.
She started a new anime news series, so that was something.
That's cool. Yeah, I stopped subscribing to her when she did like other things, and I understand why she stopped doing just gaming news because she was a host on a gaming news channel, and she's just like, I'm not going to do this twice. This is weird.
I do my job at there, and I talk about gaming news, and I come back home, and I do my job here too.
Yeah.
Talk about the same gaming news. At least, you know, she doesn't have to do much research then, so there was that.
It's true, but I liked her content better, and it was I don't like that it like cut into it.
Do you think that they might have pushed her arm to stop gaming news?
I don't think so. When you saw the video of her, now we're just talking about someone who no one's probably watched, but like, just based on it, no, she really just seemed like I just can't. Like, I'm doing the same show twice every day. I'm just going to move it to 1 week where I do news. It makes a lot more sense for me. So.
Yeah. Getting back to Steam Greenlight. So as we all know, Steam Greenlight is garbage, or not terrible garbage. Just like there was a chart.
It became garbage is basically the thing. It was a good idea, but it became abusable, like really abusable.
And to be fair, a lot of systems, and probably any system that Valve puts in place, is going to be abusable to some level. It's just they need to put more effort into how they present things.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Because the way they're doing it right now, they are a huge fucking PC company. A huge company. And they don't put hardly any money into customer service or curation. And there's a chart. I just linked that one chart that you showed me, the pie chart one.
Yeah. So that is by year how many games have been released on Steam, and it's terrifying. Like over half of their games have been released in the last 2 years, and a lot of them are just like shovelware and horror. In some of the cases, they're the same game, like just slightly repackaged. There's just so much
asset flips.
Yeah. Not even that. Yeah, just the Unity stuff. Like, it's really bad. And apparently, there were certain like groups that you can join. It was similar to like the sub for YouTube, which is the stupidest thing that ever. People don't understand how YouTube works if you do that. But this actually did work. Like, you would sign up for this thing, and then this company would guarantee that like you could get on Steam Greenlight. And then basically, they had this group of people that for like free Steam codes and stuff would just vote up any game, and then anything could pass Steam Greenlight. So it was no longer a curated quality gate by users. It was just everything got accepted.
Quality gate, in quotes.
You know, it just became a sewage gate that was broken. It just let all the sewage in.
I think I heard a good suggestion, but I forgot it, so I shouldn't have even brought it up.
Weird. Weird that you brought that up then.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know if there's that much. It's basically they're replacing it with Steam Direct. I think it's basically like you're gonna have. It's kind of shady. The reason we can't talk about it too much is not all the details are out. Mm-hmm. But like you pay Steam a certain amount of money, and then I think they review it just to make sure that like it works.
Well, no, the way I understand it is, Greenlight you had to pay $100, and then you could just shovel garbage onto Steam Greenlight as much as you want. Until your account gets banned, of course, and you just make another one. Mm-hmm. But the way it's going to work with Steam Direct that they've said is that you pay a certain amount of money, anywhere between $100 to $5,000 per game, and you also have to sign up your business with Steam, like give them tax info. So I don't think they're actually going to do any curation at all. They just need the business, like proving that you're an actual business, and then money every single time. And apparently there's also a way to recoup the money that you've given, so
yeah. But also I want to reiterate, somewhere between $100 and $5,000.
Yeah,
they have not said what the price is. It's just going to be somewhere. It's like somewhere between $1 and like $10 million. Like they might as well have said that. So yeah,
I don't think they're going to go for 5,000.
No, but why would they even say that? Under what circumstance would that be legitimate? Because that would mean that no indie company would be able to ever join Steam, ever. Period.
It's an interesting
'Cause-
proposition between the two, between like the indie company and the consumer.
yeah. Because there are a lot of games on Steam that probably haven't made $5,000.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like almost definitely. So
And a
like
lot of
even
that,
good one. Obviously, there's some bad games that have made less than that, but even like some good, like some decent games, I bet they haven't made $5,000 because they get buried. So
I was just gonna say they're shoved out of the way instantly by total garbage from Steam Greenlight.
yeah. hmm But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm just thinking myself. Like I haven't found. I used to randomly find like really good quality games on Steam, and that does happen, but it seems to happen less. Like even with the there's like that user queue that you look through, and it like brings you games that are supposedly interesting to you, but most of the time, just not so much.
Yeah, I've never found I've never found a game in the Steam Discovery queue that I've wanted to buy instantly right there and then. But apparently, I listened to a podcast, like a 2-hour long segment from Total Biscuit, with a bunch of like indie developers and people from an indie company, and they said that 33% of their money on Steam comes from people buying their game from the Steam Discovery queue.
That makes sense. Well, Chroma Squad, like the game that I'm let's playing,
Yeah,
that was from my Discovery queue.
interesting.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have known about that, but that is literally the only time that has been useful for me, and I've looked.
I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I went to Steam to search for a game. The only time I ever want to I go on Steam to look for a game is I go to my wish list. Games that I've already had on my wish list for ages, because I don't want to go through the hassle of digging through all the garbage on Steam to find something good. Kind of reminds me of Netflix, where they just have so much terrible stuff, or they used to at least. You had to sift through all of it to find like one good movie.
Yeah, they have like decent recommendations too. There's a few like sci-fi series that I would not have known about it if they weren't just like, because you watched this, you might like this.
And I think Steam tries to do that, but they go off of tags, which aren't necessarily the best. Like one of the people on that segment with Total Biscuit said he got recommended all Final Fantasy games on his Steam Discovery queue, and he's never played a Final Fantasy game.
Wow. So it's not perfect. I mean, the Netflix one seems to work a lot better, and it gets smarter if you start rating shows.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. But like Dark Matter, I don't think I would have known about if it wasn't for that. Continuum, I liked that show. Wouldn't have known if not for that. But I don't know. The Discovery queue obviously has a few more glitches. Plus, they're dealing with a lot more stuff. Like there's just too much stuff. Like Netflix definitely has a curation system.
See, I mean, if Netflix can do it, I heard that apparently 100 games get submitted to Steam Greenlight a day, and that sounds like a lot, but Steam is Steam. I mean, Steam is Valve. Valve has a shit ton of money. They could hire like 5 people to go through 100 games easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take that job just to make sure it's not complete garbage.
Yeah, you might hate that job really quickly. I'm just trying to... oh, God.
I don't know. I think I could do it.
Oh, I sure you could. I'm just trying to think of playing, like, PewDiePie Simulator or something, and then playing, like, Majestic Trash Dove fights cannibals, and then, like, oh.
The only problem
it's a job.
The only problem I see is, where do you draw the line between garbage and not garbage? Like, who decides what's garbage? Because all these games, I think you and Relic were on a podcast or whatever the hell it is, and you said that you talked about a booty game. What was it?
Bloody boobs.
Bloody boobs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that game is probably garbage. I'm sure you and Relic thought it was garbage too. But there's
terrible,
a market.
Yeah.
There's a market out there for garbage games, I guess, just like Sharknado. They were talking about on that video.
Yeah. Well, Bloody Boobs is essentially like a terrible, low-quality third-person action game. It's just the main character is a girl in a bikini. That is the entire game. The reviews are all terrible. But yeah, I mean that's the type of crap that. By the way, Relic saw that because it like appeared in his like it appeared on his front page. Like, oh, yeah, I don't know.
They should definitely have more curation.
Yeah, but no, we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll probably know in 4 months when the next podcast is. We can report on all that.
I'll try to have more forewarning for people to try to get a third guest on here too, because I would like to have another guest or something. Maybe we could have Alucard on here sometime. I wouldn't be against that.
Yeah, we were going to do it last week, but then a companion forgot that he was going to get his teeth ripped out of his mouth and knocked unconscious.
Oh, did I forget?
You said the week before last, you said, I'm not feeling that great. How about we have the podcast next week? And I said, sounds good. And then the week happened, and you were apparently unconscious on drugs.
The week happened.
So I'm going to say that, yes, you forgot.
Well, fair enough, I guess.
But all right. So yeah, Steam is bad.
Yeah, Steam Direct, yeah. I think we've pretty much... I don't think we need to talk about that anymore. If you want to hear more about it, just go to literally any other gaming podcast ever.
But they won't be as informed as us. Me, who didn't even know what Steam Direct was when I had to explain it.
Exactly. They won't be informed as us. They'll be more informed.
All right, next up, Brexit.
Next up, The Walking Dead is apparently on Steam. You can buy The Walking Dead show on Steam.
Next up, don't watch The Walking Dead anymore. It's done.
You can buy season 1 for $40.
Are you kidding me?
Oh no, sorry, 20, and then every other season is $40.
That's a lot more reasonable because season 1 only has 6 episodes. So I was gonna be like, what? Also, just go to Amazon Prime and you can probably buy each episode for like $1, or just as I said before, don't watch The Walking Dead.
You should watch season 1. It's good.
Yeah, but just don't, because you might be compelled to watch season 2. What if they watch season 2? Which, to be fair, half of it was decent.
Oh wow, it's 15% off Walking Dead season 1 bundle. $16.
Don't do it.
For 6 episodes. God, that seems expensive. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're spoiled.
Maybe. I mean, except that just don't do I just Walking Dead just it's one of the most inconsistent shows that I've ever watched in my life, to the point where I wouldn't be able to recommend it to someone because I'd have to be like, skip the first half of season 2. Season 3 I thought was great. Season 4 parts of it were good.
I got back into it on season 5 or 6. Not got back into it. I was watching up throughout the entire thing, but I think like season 5 and 6 were definitely a lot better than the previous seasons.
But then the most recent one I heard was like bad again.
Yeah, I haven't watched season 7.
Yeah, the ratings just like tanked apparently.
Well, like, it had one of the biggest
openings ever because of their cliffhanger, and then
yeah, they completely fucked up a character death that meant so much more and was done so much better in the comics. It's so incredible how badly they fucked up. I'm surprised Robert Kirkman didn't just like shoot everybody. Maybe he doesn't care. He probably doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And they completely fucked up another character. I'm not going to spoil anything, of course. But Andrea, she's a great character in the comics. Terrible in the show. Fucking abysmal.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like Carol so much, is because she's basically Andrea from the comics.
No, Carol was... I like her character. She had a large amount of character evolution. Also, Michonne is great when they actually let her do things. Mm-hmm. But there was a whole season where she did nothing. Like, she just kind of stood around with a sword. And that was like season 4. But yeah. All right, but yeah, I know. Why is the frog upside down?
You just noticed 36
Yeah.
minutes into the podcast?
Yeah. I don't usually look at the screen too much. I usually don't need to. Look, the real reason that I wanted to do this podcast though was to complain about certain video games in a rage-like fashion.
Oh yeah, sure, rocket.
Hmm?
Rocket.
All right. First one, Final Fantasy 13, is a game that I've played all of the Final Fantasies after 4. So, I've played a lot of Final Fantasy games. Everyone kept on saying that this one wasn't too great, and they were correct, and I hate it, and I hate that I spent that much of my life playing it. And the only reason I didn't beat it is because I got to a boss that like beat me enough times that I stopped for a few days and then realized, why would I go back to this when I hate it so much? The entire thing wasn't absolutely horrible. The story wasn't that great, but I was at least a little bit invested. It was just the gameplay. Essentially, you have 3 characters in a party.
Mm-hmm.
You control one of them. The other ones are controlled by this overarching command that like is then controlled by AI, and the AI just doesn't do the right thing. And there's no logical reason that I can think of that they want to either give you increased AI commands to command your other 2 party members, or just let you control all 3 party members like every other RPG ever made. That's not true, but still.
Isn't it real
Final
time?
Fantasy.
I thought it was like real time combat.
It is. It's real-time turn-based combat, which means there's like a gauge, and once the gauge fills up, your character acts.
Oh.
Final Fantasy 12 was it? Or was it? Yeah, Final Fantasy 12 had a similar system that was like really more real-time. It was basically like an MMO. It was kind of like how I think Guild Wars works. But even in that one, you got to control all 3 characters. You could switch between them really easily.
Kind of like
They
Kingdom
just don't
Hearts, in a way.
Yes. And actually, Kingdom Hearts is an example of when you have one character and you can't control the other 2, and it actually works. But they have better AI options in Kingdom Hearts than they do in Final Fantasy 13. And the AI options in Kingdom Hearts, when you think about it, are actually pretty bad because they just drink all your potions. But yeah, no, I got stuck on a boss, and I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to it. That being said, a friend bought it for me for Christmas, so I appreciate that, because I don't know if I could have pulled the trigger on actually buying a game that I was pretty sure I was going to hate. But I'm just surprised by how much I ended up hating it by the end. Like, at first it like almost won me over and I was okay with it, and then I was just like, no, this is really bad. Why am I doing this to myself? All right, so enough of complaining about that. The other game I wanted to complain about.
I wanted to ask
bit,
you a question
Yes.
about that. Would you say that you think watching Jesse Cox's Let's Play of Final Fantasy 13 got you as much, if not more, enjoyment out of actually playing the game?
He played Final Fantasy 13 3. I'll just let you parse that for a second. The third game in the Final Fantasy 13 series. And no, I wish I had just watched Jesse Cox. In fact, I might do that. Instead of playing the rest of the game, I'll see if he's actually played Final Fantasy 13 and just watch him play. Because I think I'm just going to watch the cutscenes, because I do want to find out how it ends. They got me. But I don't want to play it anymore. But the reason that Jesse Cox was amazing was because he got really like, there's a part where during a cutscene he just yelled, "I don't care!" And then it just ends, and he's like, "Hey, guys." So, and then he's just playing the end scene and just explained what happened at the end. He's like, I couldn't do it anymore. It was so bad. So, yeah, I should just watch a Let's Play of it. I think I'll get more out of it, because it's just, oh, God. And Lightning is such a boring character. Like, is she as boring as Squall? Yes, she's Squall. She's as boring as Squall.
I don't
Squall's
know who
also
Squall
boring.
is. That's just
Squall is the
gibberish to me.
character from Final Fantasy VIII, who, by the way, also has a gunblade. That's another thing. Okay, Final Fantasy VIII, the character has something called a gunblade, which is a sword with a trigger on it, and you pull the trigger, and the sword does more damage. Doesn't make any sense. Lightning also has a gunblade, and I'll give her credit. This actually does make sense, because it's just a sword that's also a gun. But they're still both stupid. Like, when she pulls the trigger on her gunblade, it shoots bullets, so it makes sense that there's a trigger.
Oh, you pissed somebody off in chat.
Look,
with their
tell
Final
me
Fantasy
how Squall
rant.
isn't boring. What does he have going for him? Let me do my Squall impression.
Oh,
Did you catch it?
Oh, let me slap my knee.
Did you catch it? I think that was perfect. Note if I was going to spell it out, it'd be 3 dots. I'm sorry, I can't like. He's like, oh
So
no,
he's like
I've
Silent
made.
Bob.
Yeah, Silent Bob actually does a great Squall impression, except when he actually says something. There's not. Oh, I'm sorry if you like Final Fantasy VIII, but I can't. And you know what? I liked Final Fantasy VIII when I played it, but Squall is still just like such a know-nothing character that doesn't do anything. And Lightning reminds me of Squall. Talk about the same amount. I care about them about the same amount.
Any other games you
Renault
played?
had a dog. Hmm?
Any other games you played?
Yeah, okay. Assassin's Creed. Oh, God, I hate saying this because I always mess it up. Assassin's Creed 3.
You
I
said it wrong.
also hate that game. They somehow made the combat even easier, which was bad. Like before, like you could just counter everything to death, but like there was a timing window. Now, whenever you hit, whenever you're about to be attacked, it like slows down to bullet time, so you almost
That's
never
weird.
miss counters now. Yeah, most of the missions are annoying. There's a lot of required stealth missions at the beginning where if you fail them, you have to start over. I hate that in pretty much any game, even games that I like. I do kind of like the story, but that's about it. And I don't think I'm going to play that anymore because I'm not having fun. It's just
Do
a
you think
lot
they
of
should
pieces
just?
also.
Sorry.
Hmm?
Go
Go
ahead.
on. I don't remember what I
Do you
was
think they
saying.
should just like cut out all of the futuristic stuff and just stick with the past?
No, and note that's what they've done. I remember Total Biscuit said that, and I can't disagree more now that I've played the games. I think that actually ruined any desire for me to play any of the future ones. The game was incredibly unique because it implemented sci-fi elements with historical fiction.
Mm.
Like that was an excellent blend. Now it's just historical fiction. And now that they've gotten rid of the present day game mechanic, I have no interest in the story. Like my favorite parts were the future parts, and it was all obviously going to lead up to the point where eventually you were going to be in the present playing as Desmond in his own story, but they're obviously not going to do that anymore. So I think that was a huge mistake, and I think they just did it so that they could make an Assassin's Creed game every year, and like having two different environments was actually slowing them down.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Apparently, the movie, maybe there are a lot of people saying in the movie they should have just cut out pretty much all of the futuristic stuff that they had going on because it was just boring
Maybe.
talking.
Yeah, well, oddly enough, my girlfriend's father went to see that movie, and he was like, I bet if you played the games you would like it, but I had no idea what in hell was going on. And I think that was some of the reason that people didn't like the Animus stuff is because, like, if they're not a fan of sci-fi, it is a kind of heady concept that you are going into your ancestors' memories through a machine. Like, you know, it is extremely complicated, but I like that stuff. It was the best part of the game. Like the ending parts that always ended in the present were the things that made me want to play the next game so much. And as I understand it, that storyline is completely resolved in Assassin's Creed 3, and that's the only reason I want to play it, even though I know how it ends because I looked it up. But I don't know. It could have been so great, and it's just not going to be anymore.
You know, I think in a situation like that with Assassin's Creed 3, I would just watch a Let's Play. Because I was really interested in the story of The Last of Us, but I heard the gameplay wasn't very great, so I was just like, I'll just watch a Let's Play. And I really enjoyed the story.
So so now there's two games that I've wasted like hours on that I think I'm just going to watch Let's Plays of because I don't want to play them anymore.
Are you going to do a Let's
So-
Play of Assassin's Creed 3?
Well, I haven't done Brotherhood or whatever one is after Brotherhood, so I'd have to play both of them first.
Have to.
Well, yeah, I do. They're actually in like the modern day story is actually a sequence. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Good thing
Plus,
they
if
named
I-
them completely obscure things, so if somebody went through and picked up Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and 3, they are completely mind-fucked between 2
They
and 3.
would miss 2 episodes if they did that. You could, because basically there's a thing called the is it Ezio? Yeah, no, not Ezio. Yes? Who's the guy from Assassin's Creed 2? It's Ezio, right? Yeah.
Who's the guy from the first game?
That's what I'm saying. What if that guy's Ezio?
Pretty sure that's Ezio. I could be wrong about that.
It's someone Aldatori is the second one. Friends. Wow. I Let's Played this entire game and played all 3 in the series, and I'm completely blanking on his name. But he has a trilogy of games. So it goes the first game, the trilogy of the Aldatori guy, and then the third game. And all of those are in the same storyline. And then just F whatever the hell they want to do. They just went off the rails and did whatever. So I don't know. You could miss the third one in the trilogy though, because nothing happens at all. Like the main character's like in a coma, I think, and then nothing happens. So
Anything else?
No, I think I'm good. I'm disturbed that I can't remember the main character's name of Assassin's Creed 3 or 2. But yeah.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Just to break up the game talk for a little bit here. I was juggling some things around, and I was thinking, my last Q&A, if I went back and watched it, I feel like I would hate it. My 1,000 sub Q&A, I feel like since I had to put... I didn't have to put so much effort into editing it, but I psyched myself out, and I'm like, I have to edit this, and I have to make it the best it can be. I feel like I kind of butchered what I originally tried to put out there. I was considering, what if for future Q&As I did a Q&A live stream where I could set up a time and be like, hey, at this point in time, I am going to be streaming to my Twitch channel, and you can come, you can ask me any questions, also ask questions down here if you thought of them, so I can use them as content on the stream itself. But I feel like that could be a lot better than the normal Q&A video thing. What do you think about that?
Well, I would say that I watched your entire Q&A video and I liked it, and I don't. What was your issue with it?
I don't know. I just feel like I can't go back and watch it, otherwise I am going to hate it. Because of all of the editing. I haven't gone back.
I didn't notice excessive editing, so
maybe I fucking hate it because Camtasia Studio was complete garbage during that process. I tried rendering it out and it crashed every single time. It was
maybe
terrible.
you're just having hate memories of editing it.
Maybe that's why I want to do a live stream instead of editing.
Yeah, because when I just edit audio, I go insane with the editing because I know that there's no video to like reveal that I'm editing. So like I edit out like all my ums and stuff, and if I stop talking for 3 seconds, I edit that out and like.
Well, Cross, never, if you psych yourself out about that, that's one more reason not to record your audio separately, because every time I edit a video, I have to like mute my keyboard sounds if they're obnoxious, or my coughings or something, my snifflings, which of course you want to do anyway. Yeah, of course.
I always edit that out.
But even the simple things like mouse clicks, if you can hear that and I hear it, I'm like, I gotta edit that. I can't leave it in like that, because this is gonna be a permanent video on my channel. Unless my channel gets nuked.
You're more crazy about it than I am then, if that's the case. Like I don't edit out mouse clicks. That's a new level of neuroses. I want to be able to do that.
You don't record your audio separately though, do you?
No.
So it would be a lot harder.
That's true, but even if I did, like sometimes I'm conscious, like I hear myself breathing and I'm like, oh god, like I hear like before every sentence and I'm like, but nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, that's something else I've noticed too. I don't know if many people watching Let's Plays actually care about that.
No.
But I feel like there's like one person.
There was one Let's Play that I was watching that was of Portal 2, and the entire thing was just of him laughing, and then during the loading screens coughing insanely. And I still watched it for like an hour. Because somehow just him like genuinely laughing did make it better for me. But I was just like, why would you edit out the loading screens?
I assume he had some comments.
Like an insane person.
I assume he had some comments about that.
I don't remember looking at the comments, but maybe. I mean, there was another one that I stopped watching because it was a little kid doing a Let's Play, and the entire thing, there was a dog going, bark, bark.
Yeah, I know.
Bark, bark. And after 5 minutes, I was like, what the...
At least mute your mic, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a certain bar of quality that you want to have. Not that you want to have. It's just something that I try to infer on myself. I don't know if that's the correct word. Yeah. To try to present the game in the best quality possible, in the best light possible, because essentially Let's Plays are just derivative works of games, not in like a negative sense, but it is the game that you're basing the content off of course, pretty much.
Yes, and you're either going to add to that content or you're going to take away from it.
Exactly.
And you don't want to take away from it, yeah. That's why I try not to talk too much during like cutscenes and stuff. I try not to belittle the story unless it's extremely stupid. I don't try to think that my smart comments are going to be better than what they're talking about on screen.
Yeah. So, talking about games that I've played, I played one game, well, not one game, but there's one game I want to mention specifically. It's called The Cat Lady. It is a game about depression and suicide, but it also has some supernatural elements to it. And it's a game that I got, and I started it up, and I just farmed cards on it. But it caught my eye with how slightly janky it was, because it's an indie game. It has some definite jank to it. And it had a certain charm to it. And I played the first chapter, and I really liked the characters after a while. It took me a couple hours to get used to the jank, like I said before, because the resolution is nasty. It blows up to like half your screen. And that was
Did you beat it?
Yeah, I beat it. It has no mouse control. That's something else. So it's all on the computer. I enjoyed the characters. I mean, it's all on the keyboard. I enjoyed the characters. It's a point-and-click adventure game. I should probably mention that. But it has some genuinely interesting characters and pretty good instances of story, like things that happen and stuff like that. I don't want to spoil anything, but I just thought I should mention that. The Cat Lady.
So it's a point-and-click adventure game with no mouse controls.
Well, what else would you call it?
No, that's what you would call it, but weird. Like weird choice there. I mean, yeah, weird.
It's kind of like Flash games on the internet, except a lot more complicated, of course, and longer.
Yeah.
So, selling it actually makes sense. And it's a pretty low price, I think, too, like $10-15. But you move around with, like, the mouse, I mean, with left and right, and then you use space to interact with things if it pops up, like, look at or pick up.
That's like the really old adventure games, like the really old ones.
Yeah.
Like the ones before Adventure Island.
And I'm pretty sure this is the first game from that company, so I can excuse jank from indie games, of course. You have to, because they're indie games.
Yeah.
Unless it was too bad. There is one part. Well, there's two things. Like, the first technical issue is that very occasionally, characters will beat the same line twice, because I guess it read the line, and that took me out of the game a couple times. And then there's, like, one 30-second chunk that just chugs the game so hard because there's fog, and I'm like, did they even play test this? What happened? What'd you guys do?
Yeah.
But that was weird. Another game I've been playing is XCOM, Enemy Unknown. It's like a turn-based save the world from alien invaders. It's pretty goddamn good, and the character customization is also great.
XCOM?
XCOM Enemy Unknown, yes.
Is this after XCOM 2, or?
This is before that. It's a reboot of an old game, and I haven't picked up 2 yet. I was looking through my Humble Bundles list, and I just saw that XCOM was on there with the expansion, so I'm like, why not? I'll just give it a shot, and it's pretty good. I made a character called Andrea Harrison, which is a character from The Walking Dead, Andrea. And she is a badass sniper. I sent her in there with...
Did she make that noise?
No, she's the Andrew from the comics, not the show. I should specify that. From the comics. I sent her in with a squad, and literally all of them died because we just got mowed down by the enemy. And then it was just Andrea up on a rooftop, sniping every single enemy left. There were like 6 enemies left. And she was getting shot at, dodged every single bullet, didn't get hit once, killed them all. I was like, yes.
Fair enough.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then I played another top-down zombie survival game called Dead State. You heard about that one?
I've heard the name. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Have you ever played Fort Zombie at all?
No, but that was the first thing that Relic ever played, so I remember seeing it.
I think the first thing he ever played was Nightmare House 2, actually.
Oh, well, the first thing I ever watched of Relic, I think, was Fort Zombie.
Okay. But yeah, that's, like I said, it's a top-down zombie survival game. You, like, manage a colony, and you upgrade stuff, and you tell people, you come with me or something. But it's too indie for me to play, or not indie. It's too unpolished, I guess you could say.
Okay. So does it feel incomplete?
It doesn't feel incomplete. It just feels slow and not fun.
Okay.
But I
Fair
really
enough.
like the concepts behind it, so I gave it a shot. I played it for like 4 hours, and I just couldn't get into it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. Like the combat, there's too much wind-up time, and there's this one instance, a random instance that I got while I was walking around on the map, and there were like 7 zombies and 3 human bandits, and every single time an enemy bandit or a zombie took his turn, it was like 30 seconds. So I did my turn, and I waited like 2-3 minutes for them to fucking play out their slow animations, and I tried to find a skip animation button, but I don't think they programmed that in there.
Yeah.
And that's what got me to stop. I'm like, I can't do this.
Fair enough. Yeah, so don't play Dead Space, Dead State, and play the Cat Lady. Apparently,
Don't play Dead State. Play the Cat Lady. Go and do that.
yeah,
Buck has got his new operating system. I thought I should mention that at least.
yeah. So maybe his computer won't explode so much unless someone turns on a microwave.
So we can finally play Killing Floor 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Don't play Killing Floor 2. Play the Cat Lady.
Play the Cat Lady. I don't want to hype it up too much because like I got into the characters and the story and the instances that happened in the game. I'm not sure if everybody else would.
So is there going to be a Cat Lady Let's Play in the future?
No, probably not, because I feel like that's a game that I couldn't do any justice. Plus, there's like 50 of them up on YouTube, which really
Is that popular?
decentivizes. Yeah, I guess. Pretty sure Dodger did a Let's Play of it. I almost said Total Biscuit. That would have been fucking weird.
I'll watch some of Dodgers on if I want to see them.
And Kratic also did one.
But then maybe he'd link to yours since you're close personal friends.
He would only do that if he hated it, and if he randomly popped up.
Oh,
on my channel.
that'd be great if every time he hated a game that you would have coincidentally played it. It's that guy again.
That would be great, actually.
But yeah, we only have 2 minutes left, so we should probably.
Oh, how fucking long was I blabbing on about the Cat Lady? Jesus Christ.
I think most of it was me being angry at Final Fantasy 13, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, we got to fill up that last 30 minutes somehow, right, Chris?
No, we had a lot to talk about. It's been a quarter of a year. I swear, the only reason I needed to do the podcast is so that I could yell about Final Fantasy 13 and Assassin's Creed 3 to like someone besides like you and Relic. So, and you've never played a Final Fantasy game. I bet there's someone who understands, even though I pissed off that one guy about Final Fantasy 8, but you know.
God, have I played I swear to God, I played a Final Fantasy game.
I think I played Chrono Trigger.
Well, yeah, I guess it's probably the closest thing. I think I played a tiny bit of Final Fantasy 13-3 because my cousin got really hard into it, and I'm like, how can you like this game?
This is not the one to start out with.
I think it's because the scantily clad woman, and he is a very,
Who, Lightning?
Well, just like that universe.
Well, there's one of the main characters in Final Fantasy 13 like is essentially wearing a bikini, but she's like 13 years old, so it's like that was whatever. If you're gonna start with a Final Fantasy game, since you like Chrono Trigger, I would definitely start out with Final Fantasy VI, although it's gonna be called Final Fantasy 3 because they like to be confusing. Final Fantasy 3 for the Super Nintendo. If you're going to play one, I'd say start with that one if you like the old school ones. It's a great game. One of my favorite of all time. It's wonderful.
All right. So, what's going up on your channel, Cram?
I have finished the main LP of Batman Arkham City. The only thing left is the DLC where you play as Robin, and I'm going to be doing that. That should only be like 2 episodes, maybe 3, but I think just 2. Then that'll be done. Chroma Squad, also, final episode sometime soon. I'm almost done with that one. Plants vs. Zombies 2, that's going to be going on for like half a year at least. So
Jesus
you can expect.
Christ.
Well, because I'm already on like episode 20, I think, in my recordings, and I'm only on the 4th world, and I think there are like 10. So
I assume you're going to cut out in between not in between stages, in the middle of stages?
No, just the beginning of stages.
Okay.
Because the beginning is always the same. You build a few flowers,
Right,
and
yeah.
then the actual match starts. But that only cuts out about 30 seconds of the stage.
You did that on the first game too.
Yes. But sometimes they throw weird curveballs, and I actually do need to show the beginning because something horrible happens within the first 30 seconds. Because they don't want you to actually win successfully in that game. They want you to fail so that you have to use currency, and then you think about buying premium currency because that game is incredibly unbalanced. But the purpose is that I'm trying to beat it with as little extra power ups as possible. Because any stage, even the hardest one, can be beaten by just throwing like hundreds of thousands of gold coins at it. But yeah, so that's going to be up. And I recently, and the deal might still be up. There's a site called Bundle Stars. I think the deal's still up. I bought Shadow of Mordor and all of the DLC for $5, which is an amazing deal. And I love that game. It's so good. You play as this like undead warrior in the Lord of the Rings universe. He's out for revenge, and you chop off so many orcs' heads, and you get really cool ghost-based moves. And there's like a fear element where you can find out your enemy's fear because you're a ghost. If an enemy kills you, first of all, there's a mechanic for you coming back, and enemies remember because you're a ghost. You can't actually be killed, but they'll remember. They'll be like, "Wait, didn't I just kill you before? What the?" So you can get people to have like grudges against you. You can permanently wound a character if you don't kill him, and he'll come back and have like bandages on his face. It's great. I love it, and I will be let's playing it. So
I might have to pick this up myself because I remember wanting to buy this game, but it was $60. I'm like, fuck that. Do you think we're actively killing the game industry by being so stringent on games? Because games, they cost money. Maybe this is a topic for another podcast sometime, but I feel like we're too spoiled.
I have to like a game an amazingly large amount to pay over $25. In fact, I don't think I will buy a game for $25. Actually, I'm going to say that right now, even if I did like an amazingly large amount.
That's ridiculous to hear.
Yeah, because I'm thinking back in the console days, like you couldn't get a game for like less than $25. But yeah,
unless it was like 5 years old.
But I would play games that are that old. That's the other thing. I'm willing. Shadow of Mordor came out 3 years ago, I think.
I mean, I bet if you go to GameStop, you're going to find it for like $40.
Quite possibly, yeah.
I don't know. I wonder how that affects the games industry. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
No, that's fine. I'm done. You basically interrupted yourself from promoting yourself. But Bundle Stars, though, the deals that I'm seeing are creeping me out because I'm like, I'm going to end up spending money because they're selling like $30 games for like $2 sometimes. Like for the next 20 minutes. It's like, it's a 95% off sale. Like, what are you doing to me?
They want your money, and they know how to get it.
They do, yeah. But yeah, what's on your channel, companion?
I have, I think, literally no content left to upload since I finished.
Me both.
I finished the Black Snow Half-Life 2 mod, which was a very well-bit Half-Life 2 mod. It was well put together, and I enjoyed the story, although it was like the generic, spooky Antarctic parasite. What are you gonna do? But yeah. I finished that up. You can go check that out if you want. It's a pretty good game. And then Let's Play Stranded 2. I'm probably gonna have like at least another 10 episodes of that. So going on for another year. No, another couple months, I'd say. I don't want to. I think I'm gonna edit that a shit ton in the future, just so I can get it done with, because I don't know how much more interest in that series people have. And then I think I'm going to probably go through my email and try to find games that have been sent to me by game devs, and I can make videos on that. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go to that game. What was it that you did a full Let's Play on? That space turn-based game?
Oh, The Last Federation. I love that game. That is a favorite game that has ever been sent to me, and I'd never even told them that I did a video of it because like 3 months had passed, and I feel major regret about that because that was a very successful video series, and they don't know. So
The Last Federation, I think I'm going to do a video on that as like kind of as a promotion for Cross, but also because I want to do a video on that because I said I would. to the person that sent it to me, and I feel scummy because I haven't. It's just I never got around to it, and when I tried like 2 or 3 times, none of those turned out as well as I thought it should. And then I'll just go through, probably get some random series going on, but yeah.
Cool.
Check, just please watch my videos, please.
Send all your keys to me. Also, we should mention that Companion's channel's kind of exploded in the last half year or so.
Yeah, it's all about the YouTube algorithm. I got linked by Cryotic, who's a pretty big YouTuber, and that was for a Half-Life 2 mod. And then after he linked me, I posted up a Half-Life 2 mod Let's Play, and I think the people that got linked from Cryotic watched that Let's Play, brought its watch time up, and then since YouTube goes pretty much off of watch time now, they promoted that series. So now it's at like 24,000, you said?
Yeah.
24,000 views on part 1, so that's fucking insane. Blew past 10,000.
It's pretty good. Like you're gonna creep up on 2,000 if you keep up this momentum.
All right.
Then you're gonna have to do your 2,000 sub Q&A, and then
live stream,
and then edit the live stream.
That would be terrible.
You gonna have a face cam?
I mean, you know, honestly, I've been considering just saying fuck it, and just if I had a good face cam, I would probably show it off. So, you know, just people, if you want to see my face, just send me a face cam to my address. You have to find my address first. That's
send a face cam.
No, send a webcam.
Well, I could send you my webcam. It's terrible.
I have a terrible webcam. Got it off of Goodwill.
So
I don't know how many people used it to diddle themselves for somebody else, but I haven't. All right, we should.
Also, damn it, you're too late. The podcast is over.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. We're getting to the point where people are coming in like an hour late and being like, "Oh, good, I made it just in time for the podcast to start." No, this is the end of the podcast. We should probably wrap it up here. This is a longer one, but we had more to talk about. So, if you want to go back and watch it, damn it, you can always go check out the VOD or anybody else that just showed up. Till then, thank you guys very much for watching. This has been the Waiting Queue podcast for 2017. It's good to do it again. Thanks for joining me, Cross, and incentivizing us.
See you in 6 months.
Yes. I guess I'll see you guys whenever. So have a yes. Bye.
Bye.